Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys convention exclusive 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today, we're taking a look at Clone Commando Scorch. Unfortunately, not based off his appearance in the old school video game Republic Commando. This is Scorch from the Bad Batch. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. I've popped a link to their site in the description below, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you do decide to buy from them. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new Hot Toys Bad Batch figure review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, up front we've got an image of the actual figure, a glossy metallic foil sticker that says Hot Toys Exclusive on it, and a glossy wraparound banner done in the Bad Batch color scheme with another image of Scorch on it. I really like this picture on the side of the box of Scorch holding his pistol. I know the blaster rifle is more iconic, but I'm tempted to have him rocking the pistol. Around the back, warnings, legal information, Hot Toy store locations, as well as a special warning saying that this guy does have button cell batteries. I'm 99% sure that we all wish this guy was based off his appearance in Republic Commando, because there are certain accessories that are game specific that I would have liked to have seen included. The reason why they went with Bad Batch over Commando is because I think how it works for Star Wars licensing is if a character like Scorch appears in a game, that's a lower level of canon because it's quite an old game at this point, but then he appears later on in something that's considered a higher level of canon, like a Star Wars TV show, then that takes precedence. Hot Toys now have to make that version of Scorch over and above the one that appeared in the video game. While I was at ACGHK in Hong Kong, the convention Scorch was released at, I spoke to a Hot Toys employee about my crazy licensing theory. It turns out, not that crazy of a theory, because while I won't give away his name, he's in a high enough position within the company for him to know something like this. And he confirmed that that's exactly how the licensing situation went down for Scorch. On the slipcover, we've got an image of Scorch, as well as the plain white Commando that they haven't announced yet in the background. I saw the prototype for that Commando at the convention on Media Day, the press event where the prototypes are laid out on a table in front of us. But then they decided, I guess, not to show him because when the convention opened, that Commando was nowhere to be found. We'll just have to wait and see if they decide to ever actually make him. First in-hand impressions for Scorch. He's looking a little bit bulkier than the Imperial Commando. I might be imagining that. We'll just have to do some comparisons a little bit later. What we're going to do now is get all of his accessories laid out in the lightbox and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first. It's using the same rectangular Star Wars base mold as usual. The top plate is so generic that it could literally be anywhere in the Star Wars universe, from inside a Star Destroyer to a Republic command post. You know what? You just decide what this is supposed to be. You can make up your own mind. You can create your own headcanon for this base. There's some silver chipping around each of the tiles, and we've got a shiny chrome etched nameplate that says Star Wars and Clone Commander Scorch on it. I would have preferred just Scorch, but I'm not going to complain about that. That nameplate works just fine. Up top, we've got an adjustable crotch grabber, which does have a wider scoop than usual just to accommodate Scorch's armor. Not really an accessory, more so just part of his look, but it is removable and it comes packaged separately, so let's take a look at Scorch's backpack. It's an actual functional backpack you can open and store stuff inside of, more on that a little bit later. You can remove these canisters on the side of it if you so choose, but they're held in place very securely with some nice, strong magnets. I've always loved this blaster design, and this is now the 4th time we've received it from Hot Toys, I believe. First was with Hunter, then Wrecker, then the Commando. Sorry, Imperial Commando. It is modular, but we don't have any switch outs for it. So they have the mold ready to go if they want to make Republic Commandos from the game. But now that we've got Scorch from the Bad Batch, I just don't see that happening. That might not be new, but this certainly is. We get this blaster style pistol with the blue canister in the middle and a pop of red on either side, some shiny metallic silver, with some speckling of black over the top. I dig this weapon. That's sick. This, even though it's smaller, is just as cool in my opinion. Thermal detonators, droid poppers, whatever you want to call them, we get 2 of them. This one that's cut in half that you can just pop on his base as some set dressing, or on a clanker perhaps to make it look like he's planted one on there. And a full one with some sculpted little circles around the front. I reckon that's been sculpted that way to make it look like he's flicked the activation lever, the red dot's exposed itself, and now it's sprung open, ready to explode. I hope I didn't get that wrong. If I did, I'm going to get schooled in the comments, I already know. So we get an array of hands, the gloves have this real matte finish to them and some wrinkling sculpted in. Then the armor plating is done in this not so vibrant, but also kind of vibrant yellow with some speckling of black over the top. The first 2 that we're going to look at, trigger finger hands. The fingers are nice and soft, so prying the grip open to wedge the handles for the blasters in there shouldn't be a huge issue. Then we get a pointing gesture hand for the left, and a splayed out finger open palm hand for the right, and 2 open palm hands already installed on him right out of the box. But no closed fists and no pairs. What we're going to do now is get Scorch himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. Scorch looks just as beautiful as he did the day we lost him. This figure is now one of my favorite clone troopers. I played the shit out of Republic Commando when I was younger, and seeing this guy in 1/6 scale makes me really freaking happy. He's not perfect, he's not 100% accurate to the game, but he's not 100% accurate to Bad Batch either. They made certain concessions here and there to tread the line between game accuracy and show accuracy. Enough so that a collector like me is going to be happy with him. If you're not, I understand, but all I'm thinking about right now, sitting here looking at him, is how dope that color scheme is. Scorch has always been my favorite member of the Republic Commando unit, so yeah, I can't wait to pop this guy on the shelf. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Scorch's helmet. It's the same exact sculpt as what we saw with the Imperial Commandos, but the paint is different. Now it's got Scorch's accurate game/Bad Batch markings. There's some black speckling over the top of the grey just to darken it up a touch, and some lighter grey speckling as well. There's washes in the crevices, plus the light up visor. But the best part about the light up visor is you don't even really have to use it. They've painted it to make it look like it's illuminated, even with the LEDs turned off. It looks better with them on, but they've gone with button cell batteries. I would have preferred some batteries inside the backpack, magnetic power transfer connector. That way we could have transferred power from the backpack all the way up to the inside of the helmet. It's doable. We've seen them experiment with electromagnets before, but not with these Republic Commandos, it seems. Okay, thank you, Hot Toys. They've improved the strength of the magnet in the backpack. It is so freaking strong this time. This piece doesn't want to go anywhere. But you can take it off if you so choose, and there's a foam pad on the inside to protect the backpack as well as the back armor from any kind of scratching or damage when you pop this on or remove it. Speaking of removing it, these canisters can come off if you so choose, but I'm always going to leave them on because I want them to stick out over his shoulders just as they're supposed to. When you take them off, you can still see the top part of the backpack. That, to me, just doesn't cut it. Thank you to whoever it was online that compared the bicep armor and some of the other armor plates between this guy and the Imperial Commandos. They've strategically bulked him out in certain places, so now his proportions look way better. This dude looks jacked compared to the much scrawnier looking Imperial Commandos. The shoulder pads still flare out a touch too much for me, but they're attached with Velcro, so technically I can peel them off and adjust them as I see fit. I'm going to find a way to get them to sit down because that just looks way better in my opinion. This ribbed collar piece, if that's what you want to call it, is made of rubbery plastic and there's a decent amount of texture on the surface. The same style of texture as what they've used on these canisters for the backpack. They're not overly close when it comes to proximity, so they didn't need to match, but I'm glad they added some texture on these pieces just to give them some more flair and visual interest. Most of these armor plates are free-floating and adjustable. The chest armor, the ab section, the diaper piece, these are 3 separate pieces. The bicep guards you can rotate round, same thing with the forearm gauntlets. Just watch out for friction and paint rub because as armor plates sit on top of other armor pieces, they will collide and you'll feel that when you're posing him, they're scratching up against one another. So the last thing you want to do is ruin the paint apps. Just take your time with posing and be careful. The ribbed fabric bodysuit makes a return. This is awesome for posing. It's nice and stretchy, it's just pure spandex. So it's not going to get creased or damaged. Speaking of damage, the entire figure on all of the armor has this surface layer of weathering. I don't want to call it battle damage, but you could if you wanted to. There's scratching, some of the paint looks like it's being worn away. We've got washes in the sculpt work, some brown speckling, some black speckling, and some grey chipping, and one more time, speckling as well. It's asymmetrical too, so it's not like they've copied the pattern from one side of the armor and just printed it on the other, being lazy as sometimes they do. But with Scorch, you're getting different weathering on different armor pieces. The knee pads are free floating, same thing with the thigh armor, so you can adjust it and close up the gap between the diaper piece and the thigh plates if you so choose. There's some elastic strapping around the back for the knee pads. The shin guards can be brought down to cover up the gap between the top of the boot and the end of the leg. They're more so meant to allow you to slide them up, and that way you can get maximum range of motion out of the split cut boot design. On the underside of the feet, we've got some fully sculpted tread. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the left we've got Scorch, and on the right the Imperial Commando. Both from the Bad Batch, both Commandos, but I much prefer the look of Scorch. His shoulder pads sit lower, he's just bigger and bulkier. Not to mention the color scheme pops, and he's an iconic character from an iconic game. Going over articulation, starting off with his helmet. There's a ball joint at the base of the neck and another one up underneath the bucket itself. Looking forward to there, looking up to there, swivel, and tons of pivot side to side. His shoulder pads are separate pieces attached with Velcro, so I would suggest dial in the pose first, then you can pop the shoulder pads on. But if you want to leave them there, his arms will go up to there, going forward and back on soft ratchets. There's a butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow, but the forearm guard does collide with the bicep armor. You can tuck the end of it up underneath if you so choose to get a little bit more range. Then for the wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. His torso crunches forward to there, pretty restricted, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. His legs go forward to there before the thigh armor collides with the belt, but you can rotate it to get some more range. Couple more clicks going forward now. going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, ratchet a double bend at the knee, going just past 90, and then a double ball peg for the ankles. Good for forward and back, rotation, and some ankle tilt. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. The first annoying thing is, not only do we not get closed fists, but they didn't give us a hand with the little blade sticking out from underneath the armor on it. I know he's Bad Batch specific, still, that would have been a really nice throw-in. The second annoying thing, I'm all for accuracy. I don't see any inaccuracies with this backpack. I've looked at reference from both Republic Commando and Bad Batch, and this looks like a relatively decent approximation of both of those designs. Plus, if you want to, you can remove these side pieces as well. The third annoying thing is I really don't like that ugly elastic strap right on the front of the suit underneath these shoulder pads. They're attached with Velcro, so those straps weren't really necessary anyway. The first cool thing is, yes, the visor looks best with the LEDs turned on, but if the button cell batteries die on you, the visor still looks really good with the LEDs turned off because it's been pre-painted with this gradient effect on it to make it look like it's illuminated. The second cool thing is we get a brand new Star Wars weapon mold for Scorch with this pistol. The pop of blue up on top ties the look together with the other blue bits on his outfit, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm going to have him rocking this in the display. I love functional backpacks in this scale. The third cool thing is we've got some built-in accessory storage. So if you want to pop some trigger finger hands in there, or a thermal detonator, or his pistol, you can do that. And now you don't have to go rifling through the box every time you want to change out a hand for the pose. You can already have that stuff inside the backpack stored on Scorch. Wrapping up on the Hot Toys exclusive version of Clone Commander Scorch, based off his appearance in the Bad Batch. But not really, this is Scorch from Republic Commando. We all know it, y'all do, I do. He kicks some serious butt in the game, and I've always loved his color scheme. More than Boss, more than Fixer, more than Sev. This Clone Commando armor has been my white whale in 1/6 scale. I've contacted multiple customizers to commission a piece like this. But now I don't have to, because Hot Toys have given us one. He's got a sick light-up effect that you don't even really need to use anyway. He's beefier than the Imperial Commandos were, so that's a tick from me. Those were far too slinky looking. The backpack, while not accurate, is reminiscent of the one in the game, and it's close enough for me anyway. He's got weapon storage in there, he comes with the pistol, and he's got presence. Most importantly, he needs to have presence, and he does. So at the end of this, am I happy with this figure as flawed as he is? Yeah, I'm more than happy with him, and now I'm sitting here hoping, praying that they give us the rest of the squad. They appeared very briefly in Clone Wars, so if they want to use this aesthetic, this body, this armor sculpt work for them too, frickin' go for it. I'm all the way in on the rest of the Commandos. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. As always, do your own research, make sure you're comfortable before buying. I've popped a link to their site in the description below, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you do decide to buy from them. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.